Hey fans, it's FanRailer here, and we are going to be looking at the update for the Metra commuter rail equipment modification pack. So what I've done is basically, first I've combined both the minor sound mod pack into the physics mod pack, so it's all together now. There's going to be a new link for that you'll see at the bottom of the description. I will be updating the previous videos that I've released on this equipment with the new link. This mod pack supersedes the old mod packs that I've released with the equipment back when it was released by Dovetail in August. So on to the specific changes. So one thing I want to note is that the main change is obviously the brake pipe pressure and the brake gauge functionality, courtesy of John S. We now have working brake gauges in addition to the reversion back to the 90 psi brake pipe. Remember that with the original physics mod for this equipment, I had changed the brake pipe pressure from 90 psi to 110 psi because for whatever reason the brake gauges were performing a little more smoothly with the 110 setting. But with this fix, that problem has been alleviated, and we now have a 90 psi brake pipe again. Additionally, the brakes are also now graduated release. That's pretty much it for the brake portion of the mod, which is, I would say, the most major update to this mod. If we switch into the Locomotive, the setup is the same. Move over here. Okay. So, as you can see, as we move the brake handle, brakes are graduated release. I don't have to demonstrate from there. Now, let me switch the head and power on. Head and power. Okay, so from the performance standpoint, I have removed the ability to select a D-rated physics set for head and powered load performance, simply because I no longer see the point in supplying that. I mean, all you're doing is making your train slower. So what I've done is I've included one set of physics. Wheel horsepower has been increased from 2850 to 3000. So that's like 150 horsepower addition to your traction motors. It changes high-end acceleration by probably less than 1%, but it's just, I'm just trying to standardize what I'm doing now for future mod packs that'll be coming out. The other major thing that I've changed is the time it takes for the power to load into the traction motors. The value in the simulation bin file is, I think it's time to max force. I raised that from 5 seconds to 25 seconds, which is about the time it takes for the prime mover to spool up from idle speed to notch 8 speed. So on initial start off, the train will load a little slower, but it's more prototypical. So why don't we do a test run? I should be able to get this up to track speed and then bring it into the station. We could do the door thing first.
Caution, the doors are about to close.
Alright. One more thing that I want to demonstrate later before I end this video is that I also made some adjustments to the sound code for the horn and bell sounds. If I did it correctly, I haven't tested this yet, so I don't know if I did it correctly, but if I did do it correctly, then the volume modulation should be much better than it was before. Before the code had specified a range of like 7,000 meters or something before you start to hear the volume decrease. I lowered that significantly, so you're not, like, if you're operating from the cab car but your camera's at the locomotive, you don't hear the horn or the bell as loudly as you would if you were standing right next to the cab car. So we'll look at that in a little bit once I get to the next station. I just want to say that when you're braking, there still is not going to be any dynamic brake. Obviously, I'm unable to code in dynamic brake into the scripting file because that's not something that's common knowledge. If you guys really care about having dynamic brakes on this equipment, contact Dovetail Games and ask them to work through a patch for this equipment, because any sort of dynamic brake scripting is going to have to come from them. But basically, if dynamic brakes were included, you should see them perform similarly to how the New Jersey Transit dynamic brakes perform. Basically, they're modulated by a reduction in the brake pipe pressure. Yeah, if you really want dynamic brakes, contact Dovetail Games. That's all I can say about it. Otherwise, I don't think it's a terribly huge deal. not stopping at the station. We'll go to the next one. Normally I don't operate with the F3 HUD off, so it's probably what's throwing off my brake timing, but I think I should be able to spot the next stop pretty well. Alright, so there you can see that the brakes work wonderfully. It's a lot easier to modulate how much brake you have now, since the automatic brake handle is coded for graduated release. So why don't we look at see if I did this coding correctly for the bell and the horn. Okay, yeah, that's much better. That is much better. Alright, good. So that works. One last thing before I leave you guys is that I still haven't figured out how to get the door chime sounds to play on the exterior, so they're not there for now, but it's whatever. You'll hear them if you're in the cab, as I demonstrated earlier, so just bear with me. If I can work that out, I'll figure it out eventually, and I'll do one last update for the mod. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I hope you download the update. Hope it improves your operating experience, and stay tuned for a lot more content in the coming weeks. Until next time, see ya.